And we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. It's Friday, October the 11th. And you tuned in to Trial Watch with Demetra. I am Demetra Lit All Day. This is the Demetra Lit All Day channel. We like to refer to our home as Lit Lane. If you're new to this channel, please be sure to subscribe. If you're new to this particular trial, the state of Ohio versus Quinton Nixon, please check out the playlist. Okay, we have a running playlist with all of the parts, all of the footages. I know, Winter, I'm late. You know what? I have to go ahead and start. Please like this video, of course, and please share it to folks who may find this just as interesting as you do. Winter, yes, I was sitting here at 5:30. I really have to start cutting off my computer or putting it to sleep, because when I don't do that, it gives me all type of issues. I can't just come sit and fire up my computer and just go. It's always something, and then I end up having to shut it down and restart it. Child, just call me can't get right, okay? And then I say it's always when I put on the wall what time the live gonna be. That's because I be sitting there thinking it's gonna be on point. Okay, Winner, I know you're gonna let me make it, girl. Good evening, happy Friday to you. And I had put on the members wall about my weekend plans for tomorrow. I'm gonna go to my hometown of Beaumont, Texas. It's about 120 miles from here, and about 150 miles from my house. But anywho, about an hour and a half ride to my hometown, and I'm going to a wedding for my uncle. My uncle Lucky is getting married, and baby, today I went to go find me my dress. I got this, like, I don't know, for some reason, I guess because it's a wedding, I was like in a romantical mood, right? So I think the dress I have is just like, it gives romance and femininity. You know what I'm saying? It's like the soft champagne gold, and I got my shoes match perfectly. So when I get off this live tonight, I'm gonna go ahead and do my hair and do all of that business, so we can be cute for this wedding. And the wedding is at a church, but the reception. Good evening, everybody in the cloud. Please hit the like, and feel free to drop down. The wedding reception is going to be at the Botanical Gardens there in Beaumont. And I've never been there, even though that's my hometown. So I'm thinking Botanical Gardens, it's got to be really pretty, and it's got to be like a lot of photo ops, right? So I should have some pretty pictures. I'm expecting to have some pretty pictures, and I'm expecting to have a good time. I think me and my honey, we need to practice our little two-step, okay? We need to practice our little two-step so we can be cute on the dance floor, all right? And where I'm from and down this way, two-stepping is the thing to do, and they call it swinging out in Beaumont. So they're going to be swinging out. They're going to be looking good. Hey, Daquan. And it's going to be a really good time, so I'm really looking forward to it, you know? And I haven't been to an activity or an event or a function in my hometown for a long, long time. So who knows who I'll see, right? So this evening we have finally, I have to wait for everybody to come in, the Lit Lane jury box. But y'all, let me go ahead and test it now. But everything is good with this interrogation. Daquan, I thought you was here in Houston. You not here in Houston? I could have sworn you was in Houston, Daquan. Let me see. Boom. See how nice and clear it is? It's nice and it's clear. Winter, let me know how the sound is. I'm going to push play. And it should be out of sync because I recorded it in normal speed. Okay, now. Oh, you in Birmingham? I thought you was in Houston. Now I know, huh?
All right, Mr. Nixon, I'm going to talk to you, but we'll get up here before we do that. Obviously,
so y'all can hear that?
let's read your Miranda warnings. So once we read this, just say yes or no whether you understand it, all right? For the right to remain silent. You understand that? Sure. Anything you say can will be used against you in a court of law. You understand that? Yes. You have the right to talk lawyer to have him or present.
Y'all should be able to hear that perfectly fine.
Not order.
Hey, CEO, little boss lady. Okay, let me see. Sound is good, picture is good. Okay.
You can decide to exercise.
Okay, so we in action today. And I got it set up where we're just doing the interrogation tonight because I did not watch the interrogation, but I had to keep checking it to make sure the recording was fine, right? And let me tell y'all, I heard a couple of things just for an instant when I was checking my recording. I was like, what? So I cannot wait to really get into things and see about this interrogation. You know, he's sitting there looking real hungry, right? You got to remember, he got arrested and brought in by the SWAT team. So as he's sitting there with no shirt and no shoes on, they just literally pulled him out of that crawl space in that house they found him in, where he had been hiding out for a month. You know, they had a $5,000 reward out for Quinton. This is the state of Ohio versus Quinton Nixon. Quinton Nixon is accused of unaliving Tony Westover on July 25th, 2022. It was a weird situation where it's a house, a small apartment with 7 people, many of which had been on a days-long drug binge. So things were bound to get out of control, and they did. Whenever you mix drugs, sex, you know, alcohol, weed, guns, things tend to get out of control. And so the state of Ohio is alleging that Quinton Nixon, the defendant who's sitting here on this interrogation tape, of unaliving Tony Westover by way of gunfire. Of course, he is adamantly claiming his innocence, and in his trial, he is actually elected to represent himself. He's going pro se, no attorney. Along with being his own representation in this trial, he's also elected to do a bench trial, which means no jury. So that's the reasons I picked this case, and I had no idea when I picked this case that it would have all the ups, downs, twists, and turns, all of the players. I didn't know it was going to be just so much. But it proved to be a lot more than I bargained for, which is always a great thing. Makes for great commentary, makes for great viewership, right? So I was, I don't think people think I'm coming today. I hate to have people waiting, but then I came late. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. And if enough people come in and they want me to start it over, we can. But I hate to have people waiting. So we're going to get started. Please like the video. This is the interrogation. I'm going to rewind it to the beginning. Oh, I need to share it. Let me share it real quick. Let me see. I know one thing. I learned how to, figured out how to get it recorded and downloaded much faster than my clips and stuff for the next trial watch. And so next time it'll be a little bit more smoother. Let me see. Create post. We live. Okay. All right. So we're going to get started here.
What? How do you spell your last name? Nixon.
Thank y'all for joining.
All right, Mr. Nixon, I want to talk to you about what you're up here for. Before we do that, obviously, we have to read your Miranda warnings. So once we read this, just say yes or no whether you understand, all right? For the right to remain silent. Do you understand that? Sure. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You understand that?
Okay, I remember what I was going to say. So when they pulled them out, the SWAT team pulled them out the crawl space, they used the gas canisters and threw it in the gas things to make him come out and surrender. So that's going to be a lot of what you see with the itching and scratching. He is a meth addict, but he also just got sprayed with the gas in a tight space. So that accounts for a lot of his actions.
Yes, the right to talk to the lawyer to have him or present with you while you're being questioned. You understand that? Yes. Not orders. or to hire a lawyer will be appointed to represent you before any question that you wish. Understand that? You can decide to answer these. You can decide to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand that?
Yes.
What? How do you spell your last name?
Nixon, N-I-X-O-N, president.
And what's your birthday?
In July 18th, 1991.
What year?
1991.
And what's your address?
I'm homeless. I was living with my mom.
Is that inaccurate here?
Yeah, she used to live at 787 Willis, East Willis.
787 East Willis?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a phone number there?
No, sir.
You on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that?
Yes, sir, but I've been locked out of this for a long time now.
You have any idea why you're up here?
Yeah.
You do? Why are you up here?
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. My head is hurting. Dude. Just past my shit.
Do you remember being at Angel's house a couple weeks ago?
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. You want to tell us what happened?
Hey, Sunshine. Good evening. Happy Friday. Just started the interrogation. He only gave his name and got the Miranda rights. Thanks for joining.
What happened at Angel's house?
They tried to kill me.
Who did?
I don't know. Who these people were. For real, I don't really know them like that.
So why don't you walk us through how they tried to?
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. One moment. I'll be right back. Oh, wow. You about to make me fall, boy. So they probably gonna still come. They didn't have nothing for me to correct it. It say it's on the way. Okay. What's up, Nikki? All right, Nikki, thank you for coming through. Always appreciate you, girl. Always appreciate you. All right, let's see. Sorry about that, y'all, but I didn't want to miss nothing. Let's go. So he say they trying to kill him, but he don't know. He don't know who. Hey, Diamond. Just on the interrogation. Happy Friday.
I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know why. Whatever happened, I don't know.
So
I was just there to help Angela look for her car. That was it.
help her look for her car.
Yeah, supposedly her car and her boyfriend's car.
Like she lost it or someone stole it or what?
Someone had stole it.
So you went over there to help her look for her car?
Yes,
Did you guys find it?
Nikki, there's actually a playlist with all the parts. Yes, ma'am. And it's a good case, too, so definitely check it out. Let me know your thoughts.
I don't know if this is whatever she bought. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling y'all what happened. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared for my life. Yeah.
You're scared of Angel? Those people.
Okay, Sunshine. Hey, Jill.
I don't
Just
know if
getting
they
started.
heard me.
Jill walked in and talked about Lord.
So you were over there looking for the car, you didn't find it, you called for more people, and those are the people that showed up. Do you know any of those people? So what happened when they showed up?
And I started talking weird.
They started talking weird?
Yeah. As if I had did something or somebody in the room that had did something. Like they were insinuating that I was talking too much. Like I knew too much about something that I don't know what it was.
What?
Like I want to tell you, I really don't. I just
Now what?
to explain what really happened.
Just use your own words. How you felt. What you felt was going on.
I thought like they were there to kill me. I didn't have a gun. I didn't have any weapon. They brought all the weapons.
Okay.
They were rolling out plastic and shit, and some dude came from the back with a fucking machete. I don't know. It felt like they were about to kill me.
So you felt threatened?
And so
What happened?
I had two guns trained on me.
Who had the guns on you?
There was a woman, there was a dude, another dude, another dude.
Who had the gun? You said there were two of them? Who were the two people with the guns? You know what they look like? Did the guys have guns, or did she have a gun, or who had her gun? Who had her gun?
All I know is
Well, you know, at one point he said somebody told him they were going to roll him up in the poster.
like I have a lawyer. Like I don't know whether I'm what the.
Now, famous last words. Should I have a lawyer here? As soon as it's in his mind, no matter what he's going through, when his mind said, I might need a lawyer, he should have said, as a matter of fact, give me a lawyer. But no. What he gonna do? He gonna keep on talking. Keep on talking. Crazy.
It's like they got people everywhere.
The Angels people?
The Hells Angels.
Is Angel part of the Hells Angels?
I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, Tiki
I
girl.
don't know.
Good to see you.
So that night, these people, two people had guns on you. What happened? Were you inside the apartment? Like in that front room? And the people that had the guns on you, they were in that room as well? What did you do when they put the guns on you?
I try to stay as calm as possible.
Kids start fighting. You hit your face.
Where you like at?
So was this the same guy with one of the guns? You knew who he was, his name ran?
Dude, I'm scared to tell you. I got 3,000 more. Oh no. This shit felt like I'm snitching.
You're not snitching, you're trying to help yourself. You're telling us your story as to what happened.
Need yourself a drink.
So the guy was biting you in the face?
He threatened me and told me that if I didn't, that he had kids, that he was gonna, he had kids, and he was gonna go home and see his kids, but I wasn't. And I knew too much about something. Which I don't know anything.
So he pointed the gun at you, he was threatening you, he said you knew too much about something. And then
He wasn't pointing the gun. The other dude was over here had his gun trained on me. But he said it was like the couch, so I couldn't see him when he had it turned towards me.
And which one was the guy that hit you?
The other one that came in with the gun and the girl.
So the guy came in with a girl?
Mm-hmm. But he had came in first. She wasn't there at first. Maybe she was like in the car on the phone or something. I don't know. It all felt eerie and weird. It was a setup. I wasn't there to do nothing but help her look for the fucking car.
So this guy walks in, the one guy had a gun on you. This guy walks in and a girl walks in. They don't have a gun. The guy that walks in doesn't have a gun. He's the one that hit you in the face.
No, he had the girl.
He had the girl, so the girl had a gun.
The girl had a gun, but I didn't know it was her gun. He had.
Did he take it from her or how?
He had brought it in with him and laid it on the table.
Well, how do you know that she had a gun?
Because when I grabbed the gun, he said, "That's her gun."
So he laid it on the table. And you grabbed it. Why'd you grab it?
Because this dude had a gun on me. I don't have a gun. I didn't have a gun. I was scared for my life. And he was telling this dude to kill me.
So he walks in, he puts the gun down, you grab it, because that other dude has a gun pointing at you. Right?
In a way, but that's not everything that happened. There was so much more. There was so much. I was there for like 4 days, 4 or 5 days. I felt like I couldn't leave. I didn't text my mom and I told her, I'm trying to make sure I'm safe, Mom. I'm trying to make sure we're safe. Oh, no.
Did you tell him you were trying to grab it because you wanted to get out of there? Or what did you say when he said it was the girl's gun?
I didn't say anything.
You want some of this water then?
I'm sorry.
Hey, Lady Steph, I think it's a scratch. I think he's itching from both.
I got pictures of what they did to me. They were going to kill me.
So this guy has a gun pointed at you. This other guy walks in, puts the gun down, you grab it, and then what happens?
I'm going to make this clear. Like, because I'm still in the days about it. And all this shit about just beating my head in there at the house. There's so much that happened in the aunties. And I felt like I couldn't leave. I really couldn't leave. I tried to leave. My uncle was there. And here I go.
Okay, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna pause right here because we had a very important point. He need to get it together. Hey, Daniel. Thank you for coming through, Daniel. He needs to get it together. So he just started the interrogation, right? He's scratching, he itching. They just pulled him out that cubby hole where he was up in there with them rats and everything. They put the chemicals up in there, so he itching from that. He probably itching from coming down off that meth. He been on a run for a month. He didn't cut off his hair. He up in there with no shoes, dusty. You look dusty, dirty, itchy. Mind you, he been on the run for a month. And everybody else that came in and spoke to the cops and stuff, he has no idea what everybody else have said. And so when he first started, the cop asked him, you know, tell us what happened. The very first thing he said was, they tried to kill me. That's the first thing he said. He didn't mention the Hell's Angels. Remember he said about the Brotherhood? Remember when he was questioning, he was questioning Brian and Adam? And he said, don't you guys have a brotherhood? You know, we was thinking Aryan Nation, but it could have very well been the Hell's Angels. Because we knew it was some type of affiliation, some type of gang club or something. And right now, he's saying everything as far as how they came to the house and that Brian brought the gun in from with Tony and put the gun on the table. That's so far as matching up. One thing that he's saying right now that we never heard before up to now, he's saying that Brian already had the gun on him. So that's real interesting. So let it play. I'm going to let it play. I'm going to be quiet. Let's see. But he needs to get his story together.
Rick Nichols?
Brent
Nichols.
Yeah.
Was he there when they were pointing the gun at you? How?
He was left here outside of his window.
What's his nickname?
Means.
What's that?
Means.
So, when did that happen? Before you grabbed the gun, after you grabbed the gun? At what point did he place you?
I don't know. All I know is they were beating me over the head. They had me on plastic. And then he tried to shoot me.
The same guy or the one that had the gun pointed at you?
Same guy.
Like before he put it on the table? Or after he put it on the table?
He was accusing me or the girl of recording. I don't know. It happened so fast. Like, they were saying, like, somebody was snitching and recording. And I gave him my phone to let him know I wasn't the police.
You said they had plastic. Like, you mean rolled out plastic? Like how much?
I don't know. It was like enough to kill me.
Okay.
Wrap me up in.
Okay, at this moment, the plastic that he is referring to, now this is where him being a drug addict come in, okay? Let's not forget that Ashley was saying that he was already hallucinating and he was already saying crazy things. And that's why they was trying to tell him to go home, but he wouldn't go home. He had been there for days, almost a week. The plastic that he's referring to is the plastic off of a poster that go on the wall, okay? You know, he paranoid. So now, the way he talking right now to these cops, you would think it was like a bunch of plastic like you see in the movie that they put out on the ground to keep the blood and the evidence and stuff. No, it was a poster board, okay? Let's continue. But he making it seem like something totally different. It's the drugs, I tell you.
They had it rolled out on the floor.
They started rolling it out.
Okay.
And then some dude came from the back with a hammer and a machete.
Okay. Did you know anybody in that house
Besides Angel and
besides Angel and your uncle, anybody's names that you've met before, or even if you don't know their names, have you ever met anyone before? Like Brian or Adam?
yeah.
Okay, so you're not snitching. We're just talking about only the facts about what happened and the people that were there when it happened.
I don't know if my uncle owed me money or what. Like I said, I was just there to fucking help her on her call. Because that's what she called me for. That's what she's been calling me for.
So did you guys start fighting after you grabbed the gun? That one is still big.
You know, we were sitting there having this long ass conversation about life and death and all this other shit. It's freaking me out. Like I said, about how he was going to go home to see his kids and I wasn't. I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. All types of weird shit.
So what happened after you grabbed the gun? Is that when the fight started, when the tussle, and he bit you in the face? So are you trying to say that you guys were wrestling? Like, was he trying to get the gun back from you?
I believe so.
Right,
Yeah,
assume.
I believe so.
Okay. So you
Hey,
guys
Deanna
hustled
girl.
over the gun, he
Yeah,
bites
yeah.
you in the face.
Yeah, and I don't know if he asked to get Adam's gun or what, but he had it to my face. He said, if I fucking move it, he's gonna blow me.
So who ended up with the gun?
Adam had both guns.
Okay, so you're saying Adam ended up with both guns.
How did
And
Adam?
then what happened? Did everybody
Oh my
stay
God.
there? Did people leave? Did something more happen?
So we had the shots went off. That girl was hit. They ran.
Okay.
He tried to shoot me.
Okay. And then what?
I ran.
Where'd you go?
Far.
Where'd you
He
take
say
with you?
four. Where'd you go for?
I left my phone.
You left your phone? What kind of phone do you have?
iPhone.
What color?
It was red.
Red iPhone?
I definitely suggest y'all check out the playlist. This case has been absolutely intriguing, fascinating, and a trip. Period. Period. It's been a trip the whole time, every day.
It was off. So I didn't call nobody. It was connected to Wi-Fi, but I felt like if I called them, I didn't turn it when they were so kill me.
Yeah.
And they kept saying everything in the house was being recorded.
So Adam's the one that shot her? Who shot her?
Fine.
Brian shot her? So you didn't shoot her.
We were wrestling over the gun to get it back.
How did Adam get it?
Brian took it from me after he beat my ass and hit me in my face.
Did you ever have possession of the gun?
And I grabbed it off the table.
And When you had possession
Silky
of the
Black.
gun, what happened?
Brian jumped up and that.
So you never fired the gun? Did you ever point the gun at anyone?
So you're saying you held the gun, Brian lunged at you, somehow Brian got out of the way from you and shot that girl?
I kept saying she was the police. And she was snitching, she was recording something on her phone.
And then how did Adam end up with the guns?
Because he gave him Adam.
After he shot her, he gave him that?
And they said they needed to get out of there, bro. He was like, yeah, get out of there, bro. And everybody was looking at me.
So Brian shot her because he thought she was the police. So they thought you were the police and she was the police? You were both the police. Did you know this girl at all? You ever met her before that day?
Yes, sir.
Never saw her before that day.
He told him all that.
Did they think that you guys were the police together?
I don't know. I think I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I was about to be a casualty, whatever the fuck they had for him.
Brian and Adam.
It sounded like all of them were involved. Angel, like, it was weird. It was just weird. The shit they were talking about, the truck that my uncle had, how that truck belongs to a family member. I helped him put gas in it, and he just fucking gave it to them, and they were all shaking hands as if like, but they were leaving me out of the conversation. And it was like they were using that truck as a getaway to get away from fucking doing whatever they were about to do. I don't know. I kept trying to figure it out. I tried to leave. My uncle wouldn't really let me come. He was like, no, you could have ride with this dude. I'm like, what are you doing with this truck? That's Auntie's truck. Why are you trying to sell it? What are you doing with the truck? Go take it back.
Hey, Nitra.
He never took it back. He jumped in one of their cars and disappeared. That's what
So when we started talking, you said it was self-defense. What was self-defense?
me defending myself and everything that happened. I didn't really,
Thank you for the cash app. I sure appreciate it.
But if Brian shot her, what do you mean it was self-defense if Brian shot her?
because look at my face. I'm just saying, I was there. I put myself at the scene. The phone is there at the scene. I'm saying that.
But if Brian shot her, what do you mean by self-defense?
I was fighting me trying to get out of there.
Because you didn't shoot her.
Right.
So what was the self-defense?
Me fighting him. Both of them. They hit me over the gun with their head. They tried to pull the trigger. They tried to kill me. Like, that's me defending myself. Self-defense to get the fuck out of there.
Why do you think you're here?
See how we died.
But why do you think you're here, though?
Because they probably said I did it.
When you say they, how many people do you think so?
Man, there were so many people, and there was like 4 girls in the bedroom. They all got quiet.
Yeah.
Angel was there. There was some other dude that was there that kept walking in and out.
Is he like an older dude with some tattoos?
There was a couple other dudes with tattoos. And they were waiting on some other dude, like their head boss or something. For the final say, I don't know.
So you and Angel and Adam all grew up together?
No way. They're all older than me.
But I mean, you guys have known each other for a long time.
Not really. I met Angel through my uncle.
I have to intervene right here, okay? This is what happened, and I'm just being straight to the point. This is what happened when you put yourself as the one black person with all these other Caucasian people, and y'all smoking these drugs, and you the odd man out. He the odd man out. He the only black thing there. They got all these people with these tattoos and shit. So at this point, he paranoid, thinking he hanging around with the KKK. Okay? So every time he's smoking this dope, the more and more he start thinking they out to get him. He even just put his uncle in the mix. No, Silky Black, I think he was absolutely tripped out on that dope. Did y'all just hear him say it was 4 girls, all type of men was walking around, keep coming in and out with tattoos? Y'all got to remember that on the second day, he was saying that Ashley actually said that he was hallucinating. Angel said he had been smoking for so long that he needed to take a break and go home, but he didn't go home. He had been there for a week. You know, he probably should have left when his uncle left. When the other black person left, he should have left. And I'm not being racist. I'm being real serious. Because if you hear him talking, he started feeling like, oh my God, they about to hang me up and leave me hanging. You know, he started getting real paranoid in out his body. We already know it wasn't no 4 girls at that house. It was only Ashley and Angel. He just said it was 4 girls at the house, and all type of men kept coming in and out with tattoos. He was hallucinating. And then Lady Steph feels silky black. I don't know if y'all was in here when he said he just told the cops that they had rolled out some plastic. That they had rolled out plastic, and it was enough plastic to kill him with. The plastic that he was talking about, y'all, was that plastic that came off that art. Remember Angel and Ronald was trying to put up that wall art? Oh, but Tony. So it was 3 women there. It was Angel, Ashley, but they was in the room, and Tony. So it's 3 females, but he was only off by 1 late woman. Okay. You know, I'm still for him defending himself and doing a great job. But this interrogation, man, let's continue. It is not helping him. He looked and sound like the drug addict that he is right now.
How long ago was that?
2 years ago.
Oh, that's
Two
it.
2 years ago. Yeah, I met Adam 3 years ago. It wasn't at a mutual friend's house, Terry's house. So,
No, you're good. You started doing it.
I don't know these people.
So what cameras were you talking about? You said there's cameras in the house?
Yeah, they kept saying there was cameras in the house, there's cameras in the TV, there's cameras in, they were recording with AirPod, all types of stuff.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So what did you leave the house with after you left? Nothing? You left your phone there, but you didn't leave?
Oh no, I have my ID and stuff.
Okay.
And my jewelry.
How'd you leave?
Good evening, the beef.
Which door?
Oh, okay, Sunshine. So he talking about over the days they had been there, not just that day, huh?
The same door they were in.
Which one? Front door?
You know, they
The
were
deck is?
the back door.
Back door?
Yes, sir.
And all you had was jewelry and an ID.
So,
You didn't leave with the gun? You sure?
Because you said Adam had those guns, right?
Brian told me to grab both of them.
You didn't jump off that balcony with a gun in your waist?
I had jewelry.
Yeah.
We're only asking you to tell the truth because, like you said, there is cameras. And that's the reason that you're here. It's not about what anybody else said. That's why we're giving you the chance to tell us your version of the true story. And that's why we're asking you specific questions, just to see if you answer them honestly. Because we watched the video, and we know the truth already about that portion of it.
What, that they were there to kill me?
We watched everything. It's got audio and video. So we want to know from your point of view what happened, so we can compare notes. So this is your last chance to tell us. What are you thinking?
If y'all seen the video, y'all would know.
We would, but we don't know what you're thinking though. Videos are videos, words are
You
words.
got words and audio, you would have seen it. They were there to hurt me.
Well, listen, we want to know your thoughts on what was going on and the truth about what happened when you left and what happened right before you left.
I ran past that dude with the camera.
Okay. That's true. Ran past the dude with the hammer.
He was in that back bedroom on the right. So when you jumped off the balcony with that gun in your waist, where did you take the gun?
It wasn't my
Whose was it?
gun. Brian said it was hers.
So when you jumped off the balcony with the gun was in your waist, where did you take the gun?
I ran.
Were you holding the gun when you were running, or was it still in your waist?
I don't know. I was falling, sliding, slipping.
So where's that gun at now? Did you get rid of it, or is it in that house on Gridley? Where'd you get rid of it?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why would there be audio and video inside of that house? Were they being watched?
They're weird people like to cut and dry and everything's easy to explain. That's why we want to know someone that was on the inside, your perspective. You get what I'm saying?
Okay,
This
Mr.
isn't a
219.
regular crime
Good
scene.
evening.
These are some strange
There
people.
go the handcuffs.
So whatever you were thinking wasn't wrong. It is a strange situation. So I'm not doubting you, and I, for one, am not going to put any words in your mouth. I want the words to come from you, your heart, and your feelings. We like to let the people that were actually there, that actually felt what was going on, tell us what happened. Video and audio just tells you the TV show. It doesn't tell you what they were feeling.
I was feeling scared.
Yeah.
And I was feeling like I said something in the days of me being there that triggered me.
Yeah.
And they knew a lot of mutual people in the streets that I was beefing with.
Okay. So here's, as far as Tony's gun, the girl's gun,
I didn't even know what you did.
and that's fine. As far as her gun, when you grabbed the gun, was it in a holster? Do you remember that? Okay, so there was a holster. When you first noticed the gun,
That's the
was it in
deceased,
her
Tony
purse?
Westover.
It was not in her purse.
It was on Brian's hip. Brian
on
took
his
it off
hip?
his hip.
Okay. What point did it get placed on the table?
I got the double steps in the house. I'm double stepping now. Okay? Indeed.
You said you grabbed it off the table
Yes, sir.
in the living room.
Brian kept saying something about it don't matter, like I was about to die. And he kept shaking his head, looking at Slim, this, doing this.
He slims Adam. So when you grabbed that gun, Quinton, and you fired that round, were you trying to hit Brian?
He didn't say nothing about shooting no gun.
I was trying to get away.
So were you trying to shoot Brian? You were? So you didn't mean to shoot him?
Oh, well, he said it now. He said it now.
So that was an accident?
Oh, no.
Is it an accident?
They walked him right into that. They walked him dead into saying he shot that girl.
So you were scared?
I'm curious. I was the police.
After it happened, you just freak out?
Candy cane. Get late.
Just go back.
No, he beat me. He beat me. He beat me. He beat me.
After
He beat me.
you shot?
He beat me. He beat me. He
Is that
beat
when you got bit in the face?
me. He beat me. He tried to shoot me. He beat me.
Yeah.
Brian,
Adam was just standing there looking crazy like he wanted to shoot me. Waiting on Brian to say something. I don't know. Then somebody yelled out, "You fucking stupid. You're going to jail for the rest of your life."
Is that when you got bit in the face?
All that happened afterwards.
Yeah.
But I just didn't understand. I didn't understand.
where'd you take that gun from?
I ran.
Just through the neighborhood?
I ran so far.
Yeah.
I ran through the woods. I ran through houses, fields. I was running. I didn't know. I'm not from Akron. I didn't know where I was at. I just ran.
So we're definitely thankful that you've been truthful and honest about this whole situation. But the last thing that we need is we need to know where that gun's at. Is it back at the house?
So I didn't even live there.
You know you don't live there, but
Where'd you put it? Did you take it home with you? Did you get rid of it? Did you take it to your mom's?
I dropped it. I'm pretty sure I dropped it running.
When did you find out she died?
The first news. They said Brian was looking for me.
Pause. Welcome to the live, everybody. Welcome to the live, Emma Renee and Candy Cane. I'm giving out excuses today because I was late too, right? So we got this interrogation. It's clear. It's playing. We can hear it. On first story, just to give y'all a recap, y'all know he just coming in from that SWAT situation. That's why he itching and scratching and tweaking and geeking. You know, the first thing he said was they trying to kill me. Then he said he didn't know who. He mentioned that in the days that he had been there getting high, it was Hell's Angels, that motorcycle group. So I started thinking, that might be the brotherhood he had brought up one other time. He didn't say that Adam brought the gun in. No, not Adam. That Brian, when Brian and Tony showed up, Brian actually is the one who walked in the house with the gun, and he put it on the table. Soon as he got in, he said it was a lot of stuff going on. Weird stuff had been happening for the last few days. They had been having conversations and leaving him out of the conversation. Hey, Sassy. And that he was trying to figure out what was going on. So far in this interrogation, as he tells the story in that house, he was definitely geeked up and tweaked up. He didn't say that they was rolling out plastic, and he thought the plastic was to kill him with. He didn't say that the two guns was both in Brian's hand. And then now he just put the gun in his own hand, and the detective just walked him into that, saying he shot the girl. Now he's saying at this moment in time, the detectives then walked him into saying that he shot the girl Tony by accident, and that he was shooting Brian. Mind you, thank you, Candy Cane. He started saying this after the detectives told him they had both audio and video footage. So now he finna try to do the self-defense thing. At this moment in time, he trying to figure out what he needs to say. And he's saying a little bit of everything. So this not looking good for our boy. Okay? Not at all. This is horrible. And this is why I said I couldn't root for him like that. Lady Steph saying, with all his suspicions, he still stayed. Right, he still stayed even when his uncle left. When his uncle left the day before, he should have left. But at this point in time, I'm glad you said that. At this point in time, he even mentioned the uncle and said something weird about the uncle, gave them a truck and shook hands, and like it was supposed to be a getaway car. He has absolutely been talking crazy and like he been hallucinating or delusional. I mean, there's no way around it. No way around it.
So I'm scared to call the police. I've done wrong before.
You know they just put him out that crawl space, Ember Nate. The SWAT team brought him in.
And they scared me. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, Winter. He digging a hole for himself.
I'm going to prison for the rest of my life.
Well, Quinton, I mean, we're going to be honest with you, like you're being honest with us. I mean, this lady died because you shot her. And what led up to that? I mean, that's what we'd kind of like to know more about. What you did after the fact, with the gun, the special things. Those are the things that the judges, the juries are going to look at and say, oh, he cooperated, he was remorseful, he felt bad. And we'd like to find this gun. We'd hate to have some kid running around playing in the woods and find this gun and something bad happen. Is it in the house on Gridley?
I'm not sure.
Who lives at Gridley over there that you know?
Everything's incarcerated too.
You talked to Adam 67?
No one be looking for me.
Where's he at? Does he stay in Akron? Or is he...
Well, I don't know. I really don't know these people. Like, I thought I knew them. All this started because Adam said he was beefing with Brian about something he did, and then it seemed like it was all just a throw off to get me or something. Because They found out that I found out about the black book. And some
Wait a minute. He say, okay, now that part of the story we heard. He said it all started because Adam said Adam had been beefing with Brian, but now he say it seemed like that was just a setup. But what he talked about, they found out that he found out about a black book. What? Let's listen. What is he finna say?
I don't know if they're Hells Angels. I don't know if they're 81s. I don't know if they're Crips, folks.
Those two ones I was on. Someone have something to say.
I'm just trying to.
Are you sorry? Are you sorry you did it? You upset about that? You said you're scared. What's going through your mind?
The people they know.
Because of what happened to Tony, you think that you're going to become good? What are you scared of?
My mom had to move from there because
Did you tell your mom that you did?
I told her I was, before all of this happened, I was there. I told her I was there for like 5 days. I was supposed to go to work one day. I don't remember what day it was, but she had called me and said, I'm going to come see you. She picked me up. Angel picked me up from my mom's house and brought me around.
So you told your mom you didn't do it?
I haven't even talked to my mom the first time I talked to her. No, it's the second time. Because
Why did you shave your hair?
I'm scared.
You're scared of getting caught?
I'm scared of being recognized by anybody. I don't know who to trust. They said they had police officers on payroll, all types of stuff.
Would you stay in the house so long for when the police showed up today? Or didn't you just come up?
I feel like they were going to kill me. I've been bit by police throwing handcuffs. Kind of left me traumatized. I don't really trust the police.
What did happen?
Florida. Fort Lauderdale, Broward County.
Do you know where Tony's purse is? The girl's purse?
No, sir.
You never took it?
I grabbed it because I touched the bait it gave me.
What do you mean?
But I didn't take her purse. Her purse was still there
Where at?
in the backyard.
So why did you grab it? Because of the vape?
The vape thing, I had realized that I had touched the vape.
So what, were you afraid that fingerprints are on it or something? Yeah.
I panicked. I just didn't. I didn't know.
So you didn't want the police to find out who you were on the fingerprints on that vape?
I don't know what I was thinking. I left my phone there. It wasn't about that. I was just so scared.
Do you have a password on your phone?
Yes, sir.
What's that?
1991.
That's the year you were born?
Yes, sir. AK-47 over in Kenmore. I think the AK-47 I was carried along with one of their people. Some guy named Demetra. I got one uncle saying I owed him $27,000 for shit I didn't even do. And then Ryan showed me a paper that same, Adam showed me a paper that same night talking about $27,000 and stuff. I don't know. I felt like my uncle set me up and sold me to them and they were going to kill me.
No, he said he had a record. Let me push pause. Okay, when he was in that cop car at the beginning, which that had to have been Adam, right? We said we was gonna go back and watch that because when the hell did they take that footage? But anywho, if that was Quinton in the back of that cop car at Circle K, that dude said he only had gotten in trouble once when he was 18 in Florida for robbing or something like that. But he hadn't did no prison time. So he did in fact get in trouble once, and that could have been the time the dog bit him. But at this moment in time, I'm wondering what the hell is he talking about, because he already done said he just had met Adam in this week that he had been there. He just met Adam. He had only met Brian. He had only known Brian for maybe 2 days. So how in the hell could they have a paper on him saying he owed $27,000? And everybody, even though I think a bunch of them are a bunch of liars, I don't think they lying about how long they've been knowing each other and stuff like that. He only just met them in the last few days. How in the world can they be accusing him of owing $27,000? See, this that drug stuff I don't like. You know, this is what got him right now in the position he in, where they can absolutely, even if something else happening in the house, we'll never ever know, and they putting the blame all on him. I don't think it was just him.
So you grabbed that gun and tried to get out of there.
So it was about to need to get out of there.
Did you try to shoot Brian?
I tried to shoot Brian, I tried to shoot Adam, and they were both in the kitchen. And then I laid down on the ground because I thought they were the police. I started treating like maybe they were police, and I fucked up. And I put the gun down on the ground, they beat me.
How many times did you shoot? Tell me. How many times did you shoot people?
More than four.
Each time, was that Tony? You shot Tony 4 times?
I don't know if I shot Tony 4 times.
Did you ever grab her by the hair?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. She lunged at me.
Okay.
She lunged at me. I never grabbed her. I didn't want anything to do with that lady.
Yeah.
I didn't even know her.
Did you wrestle with her at all?
No, I pushed her off me.
Did you point the gun at her?
She could have gone around the room.
If they were in the kitchen, how did you shoot her while she was on the couch?
It just happened so fast. She grabbed me and she was trying to get the gun out of my hand, and I was trying to. I don't know. It was just so fast.
It seems like everybody was trying to get that gun out of your hand, and you panicked.
It was everybody.
You said Brian, Adam, and the girl was.
They didn't start trying to do that until after I shot.
Okay. So they didn't try to get the gun from you until after you shot.
It was weird.
No, it makes sense. Because if someone had a gun and then they shot, that would normally be when someone would try to wrestle a gun away from someone.
He had Adam right here with his gun trained on me.
Yeah.
Then he moved over there and grabbed some printer and started printing out. I don't fucking know. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was in fear for my life. I was wrong.
Were you using drugs that day?
Yes, sir.
You think that's something that made you feel different?
No, sir.
What kind of drugs?
Meth. They all were using meth, even she was.
Okay. You ever used it before?
Once or twice.
He lied. His shoulders and his head and his neck look like he used meth way more than twice. Okay. And if he only smoked meth twice, why in the hell would he be in a whole house with 5 people smoking meth for days on end? He lying about that.
Brian,
What do you mean?
he took me in the kitchen and told me she was the police.
So you thought she was the police?
And then he looked at me and said, you got the same thing she got on her phone.
Yeah.
It was basically,
So you truly thought she was the police, or obviously?
you know, I don't know what I thought. I thought that they thought both of us was the police.
Gotcha. Then you shot her because you thought she was the police.
Because they made it seem like if I didn't shoot her, they would kill me.
Did you argue with her
About what?
about being the police? Did you say something about it?
I said, I'm not the police. I'm not the police.
About her? Did you ask her or argue with her about her being the police?
No. Not that I know.
Okay. All we're doing is comparing what you heard and thought with everybody else and what they said and what they heard and thought. What they've seen you do, what they heard you do, what they've watched you do, versus what, we're trying to get you to
So I
tell us.
talked to Brian.
What's that?
I talked to Brian and Adam already.
Yes. And Angel.
Are they
And the girl that was in the back room and that weird dude that had the hammer
in the Mercedes?
and him talking.
Damn. What Ronald do where the cop calling him weird? That's fucked up that he calling that Ronald the weird dude. You know what I'm saying? They are so judgmental. Let's continue. That's fucked up. Ronald gotta be the weird dude.
Him and Angel were in that back room hammering on the wall, hanging up these lights that she bought. You seen the lights, right? When she came home after they went to Sheets?
Lights? No, they started unrolling plastic.
There were lights, plastic streams of lights. They were
No,
hanging them
it
up
was-
on the wall.
Thick ass plastic, but they got out of a box. There was
Yeah.
no lights.
Okay. Like I said, that's why we're asking what you thought and what you feel. Because we processed the whole house. We had a crime scene unit in the whole house. And, you're able to extract video, DNA, all that mess, interview everybody that was there. And you were our last key. You're the last person we needed to interview.
So I'm the one that's in jail.
Okay.
You're the one that shot her. Because I was in fear for my life. I didn't even have a gun. They brought guns to this situation. I didn't even have
He took Brian's gun. He shot Tommy. And that's why you're here. Could you at least tell us where her gun is?
I lost it running. So I don't have a self-defense case. This is just right on right? So no one else has my story. This is the one.
I think that their story is very similar to your story. You obviously left some pieces out, but I think your story is very similar to theirs.
Pieces like what?
Well,
Brian had taken me in the kitchen.
yeah, I'm talking about when you first said Adam had both guns. That wasn't true.
He ended up with both of us.
No, he didn't.
He did. He did.
You lost one of the guns in the woods, you said.
Yeah, but he ended up with both guns. I ended up getting the gun off the floor after they beat my ass and took off.
That was after you already had the gun, and after you had already killed Tony. They're saying they took the gun from you and then they gave it back. So that's what I'm saying. There are parts to the story that don't match up, and that's, to be honest, that's not very believable. When we see you leaving that house with a gun, and their stories match up with it, and then you tell us you got the gun back, and
It looks bad when you watch a video. Someone gets killed, and someone leaves with the gun that killed the person and that dead person's purse.
Right.
Jumps off the balcony, grabs something out of the purse or next to the purse, and then you have the gun, and then you go back in the cut. Like, there's no way that just looks good, you know what I mean?
And the reason you did that is because your fingerprints were on the vape pen, which now it makes sense. That's what you got out of the purse.
You don't even take it though. The big film's still in.
And you see where we're talking about, like there's some parts of your story that just don't make sense.
The main piece of evidence is missing, which is the gun.
I'm just scared. I mean, the main piece of evidence, what is that going to prove? I told you I had the gun.
It just doesn't exist, though. It's gone. If we had it, we would be able to verify your story that other people's DNA was on that gun. And then we could say, okay, well, maybe what you're saying is what happened.
Maybe Brian had it. Maybe Adam had it.
If it's on surveillance, you'll see that Brian took it off his hip, and then that girl was called in, and then they were going to call Josh, Brian's older brother, over.
Well, that's why we need the gun for the DNA. If we don't have that, then
And she was in his car. She came with him. Right? I don't even get a chance to see what they wrote.
well, the gun was in her purse.
Not when Brian walked in. Brian walked in on his cell phone, and that gun was on his hip.
Yeah.
Adam was sitting right here.
Did you take it out of the holster?
Yes, sir.
So when it was on the table, it was in the holster, you took it out of the holster.
Brian was looking at me like, take it out the holster. Like, shoot her.
Did he tell you that?
With his eyes, insinuating with his eyes. He must have knew that they were recording. And he said if I thought about it too long, basically he was going to kill me.
He said all of that with his eyes.
And that's the part right there that killed me, that I'm gagged. He literally said that, and this is what the prosecutor said in the opening statements, right? The prosecutor during opening statement said that the defendant would want us to believe that he felt his life was being threatened and that he was going to be killed. Even though nobody said the threat, he said the threat was made with the people's eyes. Okay? Quinton just said that Brian said with his eyes to shoot Tony. Child, now this the part here where I cannot root for him. You know? If I sounded like I was rooting for him before, I take it all back.
The way he was talking, yes, they got this little weird ass code that they speak. I don't know how to explain it.
So with his eyes and this weird code, he told you to take the gun and shoot Tony.
He kept saying it don't matter. He kept looking at the gun, looking at me, looking at her like that. I'm like, I'm not the police. That's what I was getting. I'm like, I'm not the police. why am I here, basically? I started panicking. And then
We listened to him. You listened to him. He told you with his eyes to grab the gun and shoot Tony. And he did it with his eyes and his code. You listened to him. And that's why you're here. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, when you need anything, got that water, got some towels. Right, we'll get some pictures of you and then we'll get you out of here, all right? Got any questions for us? All right.
I do want to just,
That's all right. Think about it. We'll be back in.
Lit Lane. At that moment in time, when them cops heard him say that he listened to them people eyes telling him to kill them people, they was done talking to him, okay? And if he's still paranoid in that interrogation room, I know it got to be tripping him out to be sitting up in there with them two big old white boys with them shaved heads, okay? He already think he been mixed up with the Hells Angels, the god doggone Aryan Nation, Brotherhood, and everything. You know, I think right then and there, I think he really told it about the fact that he was really paranoid and that he had everything all confused. You know, let me pull up the rest of this. The interrogation we just saw was because the detective that was asking him questions had him on was on the stand. So we finish listening to that testimony from him. Yeah, them drugs had him messed up. He should have never been in that house. He had been up in there he wore out his welcome. He should have left when his uncle left. He should have left when that girl told him to go home. And he just stayed. He just kept staying. Don't know how to go home. You know, I know my mom used to say, don't you know how to go home? You know, don't you know how to go home? You know, don't just stay till people have to ask you to go home. She should have left. But no, he didn't want to leave because the drugs kept coming. He didn't want to leave probably because he had been having sex with Angel, and he didn't want to leave Angel there with Adam. You know, it probably was a whole lot of different stuff. Now, this is who the detective that was in the interrogation room, and he the one who played the tape, so he finna answer questions.
And as soon as they shut the door, they heard a gunshot, and a apparent bullet went through the wall and the TV and into the other wall and a chunk of drywall. It hits Ron in the face. He thought it was some type of shrapnel from a bullet. So after interviewing those two, we, with no one else left on scene, because everybody left the scene, that's what we had as far as our investigation. We didn't have anyone else to talk to.
Hold on, let me see something. What the interrogation thing at? Okay, this is after that. Okay.
it came about that.
That's what we had as far as our investigation. We didn't have anyone else to talk to that remained on scene.
You stated that.
This is the start of the cross-examination.
I stated that during the interview that the witnesses said that you either had her by the neck, shoulder, or hair, something of that nature.
Do you know what witness stated that?
Here go Quinton in action, cross-examination, defending himself, no attorney, no jury.
I think it was Ron Crew that mentioned that, yes.
Prior to my arrest, did you guys have pictures of me with my face painted white?
No.
So may I ask how you came about that?
Someone had called the detective bureau that said there was someone with a murder warrant inside of a house on Gridley and that they painted their face white and shaved their head.
So that would be considered hearsay. Correct.
I assume so.
Object. I would only object, Your Honor, because there are exceptions to hearsay.
First of all, hearsay outside the courtroom is irrelevant. So the objection is sustained, but the answer will remain. Go ahead, Mr. Nixon.
So just to rewind, I was the only suspect on scene, or at the time, I was the only person that you considered a suspect on scene. Were Ron, Crew, and Angel McClain, were they tested for GSR?
No, nobody was tested for gunshot residue
May I ask why?
because they stated they were inside an enclosed room when the gunshots were fired.
That will also be considered hearsay, correct?
I don't know the rules of hearsay. I apologize.
Hearsay is, well, I can't tell you that.
Pause. See, this the whole thing right here. This the whole thing right here, which make me start rooting just that fast back for Quinton, right? This is the part that makes me say something fishy here, something wrong something not right in the milk, right? Because how can you have all these people, a murder scene, and you simply take the word of people? You know, why wouldn't they do a GSR, the gunshot residue test, on the other people that was at the scene? How they know just to trust them two people at this dope house, and they know for a fact there was 4 other people there, people that fled the scene? What makes it where they just take what Angel and Ronald say and don't investigate nothing else no further? That is crazy to me. See, just as quick as they start talking, I start getting mad. Okay, this just don't make no sense. Come on, Quinton. I'm back rooting for Quinton, child.
So what is the procedure during the investigation? Like, what are the steps of a murder?
If there's a crime scene, you go to the crime scene, observe the crime scene. If the crime scene unit is needed to collect and gather and collect evidence, they go there and they do that. If anyone remains on scene that is a victim, a witness, or a suspect, we interview them, get their information, and also ask neighbors if they observed or heard anything. And if they have any evidence, collect that evidence from them as well. So the items in the evidence that you do have while you're on scene, you use that to start your investigation. If you, when we're finished with that, whatever evidence we collect, if it's physical, digital, or whatever it may be, we take that to get processed for either NIBIN ballistics, CODIS DNA, or some type of electronic data extraction of some sort, such as either videos or a cell phone. We use that evidence to further our investigation and see where the next steps of that investigation go to. Once we gather information to where we think that we're close to being able to sign some sort of charges, we seek police legal advice, and that is in the form of a prosecutor. Since this case was a murder, we went directly to a supervising prosecutor for the Summit County Prosecutor's Office, since it happened in Summit County, and they would be the ones taking the case. And we asked for advice, and that advice, we were given authorization to sign a murder charge on that. Once you sign a murder charge, You have a warrant set. You notify the Northeast Ohio Violent Fugitive Task Force to try to track and locate that suspect. By most of the time, it's checking old addresses or using their cell phone and pinging their location if they have a cell phone on them, or asking for tips to find and locate that person of interest or the suspect. And then after that, you interview them and get their side of the story.
Okay, so during your so prior to getting statements from Brian and Adam Wright, you got their names, correct?
Yes.
And they were identified on the camera, correct?
Yes.
Can you walk me through the background check of Adam and Brian, as far as felony records?
Objection.
Sustained. You should have asked them that question. Ask your next question.
Okay. Well, when there was a background check done, what did you find?
Objection.
Sustained. Ask another question.
Did you know that Brian?
Well, let him answer it. Ask it first.
Did you know that Brian and Adam had priors?
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled. You may answer that one.
Yes.
Did you know that they were on parole?
He better go ahead and work it out.
I knew
Where's
that
T.
Brian
Loud?
Fielders
She would've
was
liked
on
that part.
parole. I didn't know that Adam Wright was on parole.
Was there a warrant put out for Brian?
No.
Can I ask why?
I did not have a basis to sign any charges on Brian.
When you say basis, may I ask what that means? Can you clarify?
Any evidence or any interviews saying that Brian did anything of any illegal nature.
That's bull.
May I ask how many cases of murder cases have you worked over the years?
Probably about 30 or 40.
Quinton killed me when he
And
been
in those
challenging him.
cases, has it ever involved a person being on parole?
Yes.
And in those cases, seeing that they're murder cases, were charges ever put out for a person being around a gun on parole?
If we have evidence of that, yes.
So if Brian was at the scene and there was a video of a gun and you seen him leave, which puts him there, may I ask why there were no charges put out for Brian?
Yes, as previously stated, we don't have that gun as evidence. All we have is a video of an apparent gun, and his parole officer was notified of all these circumstances as well.
Was he ever, so there was never a warrant put out for Brian after notifying his parole officer?
He had a parole violation. I believe that was previously existing. I don't know if anything was added to that. I didn't speak with his parole officer to see if they added anything extra.
So you're stating you didn't speak with his parole officer?
I did speak with his parole officer.
May I ask what you told his parole officer?
Told his parole officer.
Now that would be
everything
hearsay.
That's pretty much been stated today as I've been on the stand, as far as what the witnesses told me had occurred.
So he was around the gun. He didn't get charged for being around the gun. He's on parole. Do you remember stating to Adam Wright during the interview with Adam Wright that you spoke with Brian's parole officer?
I do not recall that.
And do you remember telling Adam Wright that I was high on perks during that interview?
I don't remember saying perks. All I know of is everyone using meth and everyone stating they used meth. I don't know about perks.
Because if you had said that I was on perks, that would be incorrect, correct?
All I know is the drugs that you said that you were using and that they said you were using. I don't know about the perks.
Was there any conversation or was there any investigation or any, let me ask it this way. During your investigation, did anything come up about a drug sale of pills?
I don't remember. I can't think of any specifics, so I can't recall that.
He need to ask them, do y'all know that Ron and Angel was high for meth at the time
So you
of the
don't
murder?
remember any conversation between anyone about pills?
He said no.
What I'm saying is I don't remember. It could have happened, but I'm just saying I don't remember.
Do you remember talking to the victim's sister about a drug sale between Brian and someone in the home?
I'm not sure. I don't remember that conversation.
Your Honor, may I play?
What's the statement?
He doesn't remember.
So you're stuck with his answer. Or should you ask another question? You don't get to just play an interview. You have to set this foundation and the basis for it.
Was there a recorded phone call of a female I was dealing with at the time by the name of Samantha Lamp and the victim's sister about a drug sale gone bad?
I don't remember anything about a drug sale gone bad, but I do remember speaking with Samantha Lamp and Tony Westover's sister at separate times over recorded phone call conversations.
Was that recorded on your, do you wear body cam?
I just recently got a body cam. I use it for when I go into hospitals.
Okay, and was that conversation recorded on any body cam that you were wearing?
I did not have a body camera in 2022.
Or was the phone call recorded on body cam?
Yes, not on body cam. It was recorded on a digital device that's connected to my phone at work.
And during that phone call, do you remember anyone stating that Tony texts either a friend or family member stating that she felt uncomfortable being there that night.
Yes.
And she also texts either a family member or friend stating that they were there to sell pills. Brian was there to sell pills.
Okay, so now that's refreshed my memory. Now I remember that, yes.
I know you lying. I know you lying. Okay, now, Lit Lane Jury Box. This is the moment for me, Demetra Lit All Day. This is the moments I have come during this trial watch to live for with Quinton representing himself, okay? I have come over the last 8 parts of this trial watch. I have come to live for Quinton's cross examinations because Quinton never lets himself down. Quinton has not let one person hit this stand that he has cross examined and he didn't bring up some type of doubt, some type of suspension, some type of like lay a trap, some type of way where he didn't caught people up in line or conveniently forgetting. Yeah, oh, now I remember. Oh, Betty White looking at, you know what I'm saying? This is the moments right here where I'll be like, Quentin, what? This is the parts T Lounge will be like, okay. T Lounge, you catch this replay, girl. I'm thinking about you.
And so you do remember that, okay? And
not Team Quentin.
around what time? Like around during your investigation? Like, can you give me a time period of like when that was?
I guess I asked you to restate that question because I don't understand what time period of what.
That conversation was recorded. What date?
I definitely don't know the date. It was after the incident.
Okay, and yet you said earlier today that there was never a warrant put out for Brian.
Yes, that's correct.
So even from that conversation, you still never looked into Brian.
So as stated before, for bringing evidence to court, I didn't have any evidence to bring to court, any drugs to bring to court, any drugs to test for their toxicity or anything like that. So no, I did not look further into the drug transactions.
So these things were said by people, correct?
They were said by people.
So would it be safe to say that the same thing applies to my situation, that they were said by people that I did before you got my interview? Would it be safe to say that people said that I did it?
Yes. People did say you did it.
And that was enough with the video of Brian, Adam, and me to go and straight to a head prosecutor and get legal advice and obtain a warrant off of what people said in the video.
Yes.
But in that same video, Brian was in that same video, correct?
Brian was in that same video, correct.
And it was alleged or depicted, or maybe it might have been a gun and maybe it might not have, but there was some type of inclination that there was a gun in that video, correct?
In the video in Adam Wright's hand, yes.
Okay. And yet there was no warrant put out for Adam Wright nor Brian, correct?
That's correct.
You see what I'm getting at? Why wasn't there a warrant put out for them?
As I've stated previously, it's about the evidence and signing charges, and we did not have any evidence other than that video depicting a gun.
So you only had hearsay, correct?
And hearsay outside the courtroom is not hearsay.
Oh.
Statements by other people.
So you only had
And you
statements
have,
of other
after
people.
this question, you're done with this line of questioning. I got the picture. They didn't sign charges on anybody else. I understand that.
Hey, Jay
You need
Dunn.
to ask him questions about his investigation, or your cross-examination is going to come to a close. We're not getting into this whole, I know what this is about. I know what the groundwork is. Vindictive prosecution, all of this. That is I've already ruled on that. It is, irregardless, your opportunity is to question him about his investigation into the murder of Tony Westover.
Yes, ma'am. I have leading questions.
You have one more question on that topic, and then you're moving on.
Yeah, because the judge say she wasn't trying the malicious prosecution part. She told him yesterday he had to take that up in civil court. Remember? Well, with the police brutality too.
Did you tell Adam Wright I was high on perks?
Exactly,
in
Lady
his
Steph.
interview?
I don't remember saying perks. I thought I said meth. If I said perks, then I was wrong. And also, I don't know that you were high on perks.
Okay, so at this point, I don't know if y'all remember, right? Maybe a couple of parts ago, a couple of episodes ago, right? Quinton has not successfully found a way to get that footage put into evidence. The footage I'm talking about is the police interview with Adam. He tried to get it entered in when Adam himself was on the stand, and the judge overruled it. Okay, so he tried to catch Adam up in some lies with that tape. He couldn't get it in. Now he bringing that same footage up to the detective. So as far as I don't know. I think he trying to get he wants that tape, that footage with Adam interview put in, but I don't think he know how to get it worked in there. The judge already overruled it once, but he hasn't tried yet with the detective. So let's see.
Your Honor, I would like to play Adam Wright's interview.
Absolutely not. He has
Damn.
just told you what he said.
I just called it, huh?
He said it, he was wrong. He doesn't remember asking.
I just said that. Oh well.
It's improper impeachment.
I know
So
he was
it's
trying.
not permitted.
Correct.
But if he figure out the right way to get it in there, he will. But he can't figure it out.
During our interview between me and you, could you visibly see my injuries?
Yes.
Did I appear to be beaten up pretty badly?
In my opinion, you did not appear to be beaten up.
But that man, Mr. Perry, is not his co-counsel. He's a court advisor. So I think he can only give him rules of law. He can't help him with his case. You know, he can't just say, do this, do this, do this, do this, you know. And I don't even think he there that day.
Badly.
Was my face swollen?
I'm a hush.
I believe you had a knot on one of your eyebrow areas, I believe.
Did you see a knot under my eye?
I know for sure I did see one on your eyebrow. I don't know about the eye under your eye. I don't recall that one.
So you testified today to the state's exhibit stating that my phone search through Safari had a state's exhibit 88. It was
He was there. He there.
search of spy cameras and such and so forth, correct?
Yes.
And during my interview, did I not, or did I say that Brian had my phone?
You did.
So is it safe to say that you don't know who searched those things?
Correct.
Did I give you my password to my phone willingly during our interview?
You-
Password of my phone?
It was not.
So how did you get in my phone?
Password, once plugged into the Celebrate machine, was found to be all zeros. So it was very easy to calibrate. It was just all zeros. I don't know if it was a 5-digit or a 6-digit. I believe it was a 5-digit, according to Detective French from our forensic unit. He tried 1991 and it did not work, and he told me it wouldn't work because those phones don't have 4-digit codes.
Okay. May I ask what judge signed off on the warrant?
I would have to look at the warrant and see. I believe
Which
Detective
warrant? Which
Dare-
warrant? Hold on. Which warrant? There's all kinds of warrants.
The murder
There's
warrant.
arrest warrants, there's search warrants, there's all kinds of warrants.
The warrant to enter the home on Gridley.
Detective McConnell got that search warrant to enter the home on Gridley. I don't know what judge he went to get that signed.
Welcome to the Loud to the people up top. Please
During
hit the
my
like.
interview
Thank
with
you.
I stated
So I'll watch
that
with Demetra.
the gun was on Brian's hip. Correct?
Yes.
During my interview, did I ever state that the gun was in Tony's purse?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
That's correct. I don't think so.
He didn't.
During my interview, did I state that I was in fear for my life?
Yes.
During my interview, did I state that I was using meth?
Yes.
During my interview, did I state that I yelled, I'm not the police, I'm not the police several times?
Yes.
So may I ask who did the background check for me?
So that is done through our leads department. We give them a social security number and a name, and they run a criminal background check, which is a computerized criminal history. So that would have been more than likely me that did that computerized criminal history. That is printed out, and whatever information is on that computerized criminal history is what I get as far as background.
Did I have any felonies?
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled. You can answer if you know.
I believe there.
Don't forget, one of the charges that he's facing besides the murder charge, he's facing felon in possession of a firearm. And he states in his opening statement that he's not a felon, so he trying to get that charge. When he asked this question, I'm assuming that he's trying to get that charge worked out right here, because he got 3 charges. Some type of assault, I can't remember what type of assault. He got a murder charge, and then he also, and we don't know what degree murder, and he also has felon in control of a fire or in possession of a firearm. Let's continue.
There was a felony for a robbery, and then there was a felony for. I believe it was just the felony for the robbery is what I recall.
And did you guys clarify, or were you able to clarify that I was convicted or not of these felonies?
It said that there was a conviction on the paperwork, but I remember in a previous court proceeding that it was found that it was not able to be verified.
So is it safe to say that I'm not a felon?
Objection, Your Honor.
So basically,
It will be speculation based on his own statements. In the recording we saw on the other case, he himself said he had a prior conviction for robbery.
sustained. That charge has been dismissed, by the way, prior to the start of trial. So if that's the road we're going down, the state of Ohio's already dismissed that charge.
May I ask why the state of Ohio dismissed that charge?
Oh, it's dismissed.
You may not. I asked you when they moved to dismiss if you had any objection to it. You said no. You could have asked at that time.
Okay.
They would have maybe given you an explanation.
Yes, ma'am.
Child.
During my interview, did I state anything about a machete?
Yes.
Are you familiar with okay. How do you become a police officer? Is there an academy you have to go through?
So it's all circumstantial based on where you get hired and what state you're in. But at the current time range in 2022, when I was hired, you had to go through a background check and you had to go through a 6-month police academy, 6 months.
Okay. And after the 6 months, what is the certificates given to you?
It's so there's one through the Ohio Attorney General's office that is a police officer certificate, and the other one is a certificate that's given through the city of Akron as you being a legal police officer through that training.
Correct. Detective Hornacek, do you know what are you familiar with Ohio Peace Officer Academy Training Certificate?
Yes.
And what is the short term for that? The acronym, I believe that's how you say it. That.
The initials would be OPATA.
Okay. And you're familiar with that, correct?
Yes.
And how is that obtained?
There's several types of OPATA certificates. The OPATA certificate that I have is the full training to become a police officer, which at that time was 6 months of training.
Your Honor, I would like to ask to submit Exhibit K,
For what is it?
OPATA certificate.
For what? For you?
Yeah.
What bearing does that have on his testimony? I mean, you can always identify it when you testify. If you testify.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't making the presumption that you're testifying, so that's why I cleared that up.
Yeah.
So if you choose to testify, you can testify about that. I don't know what effect him identifying your certificate, what relevance does that have?
The relevance would be to my standing at the time of the investigation, as far as me not being a convicted felon, other people being a convicted felon in the home.
Do you think if, hypothetically, an off-duty police officer was thought to be the shooter in a house, that his standing as a police officer and his OPATA certificate would have any bearing?
No, they're stating that I was screaming that someone was the police. I'm stating that I which was in my interview, he verified that I said I wasn't the
understand.
police.
All right, so I got that connection. But did you ask any of those people that testified if they knew you had your OPATA certificate? So see, now there's no relevancy connection because you didn't ask them that question, which could tie into the fact that they thought you were police. So I'm not going to permit you to
Hey,
show
Terica.
him or have him identify that. If you choose to testify, you can bring that up in your testimony.
Yes, ma'am. Moving forward.
See, and this is the difference, right, between being a real attorney and defending yourself. It's these little small things but big things, right? Had he actually been an attorney, he would be more fluent in all these things, all these technicalities, right? He would have been more fluid with him asking the questions to lead up to his defense, to lead into the evidence he got. That's where he's dropping the ball because he's not a professional attorney. You know? Yeah, she kind of helping him low key because she explained it to him. I think, to me, it seems like at this point, they 4 days in at this time, right? 3 days in real time at the time of this right here. At this point, you know, she working with him because he's not doing a bad job. Right? He's not doing a horrible job. So she's showing him some modicum of respect and respecting the fact that he is making he doing okay. She respect that much of it, right? But then other stuff she explaining to him, you know, because he's not an attorney. And she see where he's trying to go, but he don't understand all the ins and outs. He need an attorney. No matter how good he do. But she have a short personality. Look at her haircut. She got a buzz cut. You don't get to be in a judge by being Miss Nicey Nicey. I think once he get thrown off the path he already envisioned in his mind that he can't prepare for, I don't think he make a lot of alternative plans. Like once they couldn't put in that tape.
Were you able to? You stated today that you took the video to the head prosecutor and they proceeded forward with criminal charges, correct?
Correct.
You also stated that it was the entirety of the video, like the whole video.
That whole video that we have as evidence, yes.
So is that what was being played during court yesterday? That video existed?
Yes.
So there's no other video?
No, that's the video that the crime scene unit obtained from the person that lived downstairs. That's the video that person gave the crime scene unit.
So you never seen any, is it safe to say that there wasn't any other pieces of that video missing to your knowledge, best to your knowledge?
That's correct. All we have is that video.
And is it safe to say that there is no, seeing that you haven't seen it, there technically is no video of Adam Wright climbing back up into the apartment, correct?
We do not have that in evidence, no.
Were you aware that after leaving the interview with you, I was taken to Summit County Jail, correct?
Yes.
Were you aware that they didn't accept me due to my injuries?
Yes.
Now, you stated earlier that my injuries weren't serious. To your opinion, as far as your opinion, my injuries weren't as serious, correct?
That's correct.
In your opinion, is it safe to say that my injuries were a little more serious than what you thought if the jail didn't accept me?
My opinion can go several ways on that as far as liability of taking a prisoner into a jail with a visible injury. Usually, Summit County Jail does not want to accept anyone that has a head injury of any sort because they need to clear themselves, so nothing happens to that prisoner inside of their facility while they're responsible. So they want to get it cleared first.
Correct. And during my interview, did you hear me state that I had a headache or my head hurt?
Yes.
Were you aware that there was a report done? Were you aware that they denied me at the jail and I had to be transported to the hospital?
Yes.
Were you aware of the medical report at the time?
At the time, I wasn't aware of the medical report.
Had you ever seen the medical report?
No.
Were you aware that the jail did their own report as well?
Yes.
And had you seen that report?
I believe I have.
And can you state in that report what you saw?
Objection.
Sustained.
I cannot.
Sustained. Meaning don't answer it. Next question. And if it's going down the same path I've already ruled, you're moving on or you're terminating your cross-examination.
Do you remember in Adam Wright's interview, he stated that Brian was tweaking?
Yes.
Do you remember him speaking, or do you remember Adam Wright stating that as soon as Brian walked in, Tony wasn't with him and he was speaking about that app?
Yes.
Do you remember Adam Wright stating that Brian was a kind of how can I put it? A violent person?
I don't remember him saying that he was a violent person.
Do you remember him stating that he's known for carrying guns?
Yes.
Do you remember during the interview with Adam Wright that the night of Tony Westover's murder, Adam stated that Angel called him, which is Adam, and informed him that Brian had a gun and they were in the parking lot. Do you remember that?
Yes.
See,
I
think.
guess what I'm asking.
See, he trying to bring in questions from that videotape, that interview of Adam, that the judge keep overruling and denying to be entered, right? So I think that's the problem that Quinton is having. He really based a lot of his cross-examination, it looked like, around that footage that they not letting in to evidence. So now he got to work all them questions that he came there with. He got to work it in without the video. I think that's what he's doing. Or trying to do. I wish we could see that video.
After hearing that, was that still not enough for him to have been charged with any felony crime?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. It has been well established that nobody else in that apartment was charged with a criminal offense.
I just don't understand why.
Oh, well, this isn't the forum to find that out. This forum, is to find out what evidence is presented to this court for me to make a ruling on whether you're guilty or not guilty of the charges in the indictment. and whether or not you acted in self-defense. So if you have no additional questions on those topics, I'm going to terminate the cross-examination.
During my interview, did I state that I was there because Angel picked me up from my mother's home?
Yes.
So is it safe to say that I was legally allowed to be there?
Yes.
If Adam Wright testified that if Adam Wright testified that Brian had a gun prior to coming up to the home, is it safe to say that he may or may not have had that gun on him when entering the home?
It's safe to say he may or may not have had that gun on him.
Correct. And if he may or may not have had that gun on him, it's safe to say that Tony may or may not have had that gun.
It's also safe to say that Tony may or may not have had that gun.
So it's also safe to say that you don't know who had the gun.
That is safe to say.
Have you ever had a gun pulled to your face, Detective Hornacek?
Yes, I have.
And can you explain to the court how that made you feel?
It did not make me feel comfortable.
Were you scared?
I don't think I had time to be scared.
Were you in fear for your life?
I believe I was kind of numb.
Pardon me?
I was numb.
Have you ever been have you ever been bitten by a mosquito?
It's relevant, Your Honor.
Well, you can ask that question and we'll see where it goes.
Yes.
Prior to
Hold on. Let's see where he's
have you ever had a
going with
mosquito
this.
flying around your ear?
Yes.
And have you ever visibly seen a mosquito before it bit you, correct?
Yes.
And what was your first reaction?
Baby.
Swat at the mosquito.
Okay.
Baby.
And if it landed on you, what was your reaction?
I would smack the mosquito.
And is it safe to say that the mosquito would be dead, correct?
More than likely, yes.
Child.
Is that human nature, you would think, or say?
I would think that would be a natural reaction.
Okay. So it's a natural reaction to defend yourself from anything that's hurting you, correct?
That as well.
Child.
During my interview, you heard me say that I was in fear for my life, correct?
Yes.
Is it safe to say that
Wow. That's a hell of an analogy, huh? I'm pretty sure the victim family did not appreciate that analogy at
is it
all.
safe to say that if three or four people were attacking
Yeah, he went there with that
Is it
one.
safe to say that I was outnumbered?
If 3 or 4 people were attacking me,
You, anyone, is it safe to say that you would be outnumbered?
yes,
And then when you apply guns to a certain situation, is it safe to say that you are either going to fight or flight, correct?
yes,
Are you familiar with stand your ground?
yes.
For a legal conclusion, move on. He's not going to testify about the law. That's what I do.
If a person is not a felon, are they legally allowed to carry a gun?
In most circumstances, yes.
If a person is a peace officer, are they allowed to carry a gun?
In most circumstances, yes.
Is the OPATA certificate you testified considered a peace officer certification?
I wish the other bailiff was here. I would love to see his expression about that mosquito
I'm
coming.
sorry. Could you ask the question again?
An OPATA certification, is it considered a peace officer certification?
Some of them are peace officer certifications, and some of them are for security purposes,
Correct.
and some of them are for other types of training. So the one
And
that I testified that I have is for a police officer.
police officer, and that's considered a peace officer, correct?
Yes.
Okay. During any time in your investigation, had it come up that I had that certification?
Yes.
And how long is that certification valid?
Your certification, I don't know. My certification, it's valid for 1 year, and I have to redo training every year. I believe 40 hours of training is mandatory.
Correct. And
Correct.
if you don't research, the certificate is valid for 5 years, correct?
What certification?
The OPATA
Which one?
certification.
Just told you
That's
that.
definitely
armed-
part of his defense,
armed,
Sassy. Glad to see you still
to
riding,
be able to work
girl.
with the
Thank y'all
gun.
for joining me on this.
Um,
It's a rabbit hole.
security.
armed security, which is considered a peace officer.
Do you know the answer to that question?
I do not know anything about those certifications.
Okay. But you said it did come up in your investigation.
Yes.
So is it safe to say that I have my certification as a
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
on the night of Tony Westover's murder, the 911 caller was advised by dispatch to move the body, correct?
Yes.
Is that
Standard of
Legal.
procedures.
Yes.
I would say, is it safe to say that that could also contaminate the crime scene?
No.
So if a person is moved from the original position in which they were found, or which they were, which they landed, there will be no way to figure out the original stance they were in, or where they were standing, or where they were at during an altercation, correct?
That's correct.
I see you, Sassy.
So Adam Wright testified that his gun was a 9mm Smith & Wesson, correct?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor, I'm objecting to that line. He's not impeaching Adam. He's just getting out consistent statements. And he's been doing it for a while with the other ones. I know what he's trying to do when the other people on the stand and he wanted to say something that they said different in their statement. You said, wait till the detective get on. He hasn't been saying what they said different. He's just been steadily getting out consistent statements.
I'm not.
Did Adam Wright testify he had a 9mm gun?
Yes.
Overruled.
Child.
Go ahead, Mr. Nixon.
Y'all saw how Quinton looked at that woman, that prosecutor?
I would ask the detective. I would ask you, how could I have started the fray if I didn't have a weapon?
Objection.
Sustained. Calls for speculation.
Detective Hornacek, have you ever lied on the stand before?
No.
Child.
Are you on any list as far as the courts keep that says if you ever lied on the stand, you have no right to testify in any case?
Inappropriate, improper question. First of all, there's no such list. Secondly, don't answer the question. And thirdly, move on. You don't get to just accuse somebody of perjury without having a legal basis for it. And this is the last bit of legal advice I'm going to give you, or I'm shutting down this cross-examination.
Okay. I told y'all she was going to go federally. I told y'all she was going to go federally. Literally. She about to shut this shit down.
You testified at a previous hearing.
See,
is it true that you testified at a previous hearing?
Didn't you just say go on to something
that,
else?
You marked on a legal warrant the wrong you marked
He trying to
that
discredit
the warrant
the
was
detective
served
for
to the
bad
homeowner.
work.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Okay. Was there ever any investigation done on the victim's vehicle?
No.
Why not? Why not searching for
Was
drugs?
there any
Why not
prior
searching for
video
guns?
of them pulling up in that vehicle?
No.
Were there ever any can you say for the court how many shells were on the scene of the murder?
2 9mm spent cartridge casings.
And how many live rounds there were?
1 live round in 9mm live round in the kitchen.
Is it safe to say you don't know, seeing as that Adam testified to having a Smith & Wesson 9mm, you don't know if those bullets came from the gun that was used that I said I had or the one he had? Is it safe to say that?
Through your interview and what we talked about, you said you fired it from a gun, and I can't say which gun other than what you said, the gun that was on the table.
No, but I'm asking you, is it safe to say that you don't know if the rounds came from Adam Wright's gun, being that it was a 9mm, or my gun, seeing as there were
Why he keep saying my
more than
gun?
5 shots, I believe.
Yes, that's correct. We did not have any guns to take to BCI to do any direct comparisons to those shell casings. So we can't determine which gun fired those shots.
But seeing that Adam had a gun on the scene, you didn't think to put him to arrested, you could try to catch him with that gun?
Objection.
Sustained.
Were there any inducements to the witnesses? Did you offer any type of deals for them to come testify against me in these past few days?
I don't think the witnesses had any kind of deals
The
that
question
were-
was,
that were
did
offered.
Did you? That's the question. Not deals to other people. Did you offer any inducements to any of the lay witnesses that testified during this trial?
There were no deals, and there were no deals offered. I did suggest to Brian Fielders that I would talk to his parole officer in getting him into some type of rehab.
So that would be safe. So is it safe to say that that'd be a good reason for him to show up and testify against me?
I don't know the results of any of that, so I can't say that that's safe to say.
Well, you stated earlier he wasn't charged with any felony from this incident, correct?
No, he was not.
Was I so you stated earlier that when you did the DNA testing on me, my DNA was not on anything you tested, correct?
Through examination through BCI, there wasn't enough evidence to tell whose DNA that was a male was on any other item except for the laser, which was Adam Wright.
And had you got Adam's statement at that time?
No.
So that would, is that safe to say that Adam had the gun on the video that that proved it, correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Baby, her objection is not going through. This got to be a tough spot for him to be in, to be under the fire of questions from him like this.
Adam, is it true that Brian testified that after he left from the scene of the murder, he hotwired an RV?
I don't recall him saying that he hot-wired an RV.
So during his interview that you interviewed him on, I believe it was (07:22). You don't remember him saying that he had to hotwire an RV and get away?
It's in my mind a little bit, but I don't recall.
Child,
the
he
nature of it.
always
I
don't remember
apologize.
till he remember. Oh yeah,
I
now
don't
I
understand
remember.
what you mean. It's in your mind a little bit, but you don't recall it. Can you clarify that?
So there's something in my brain that says that that might have happened, and I'm recalling a little bit of it, but it's a little cloudy, so I don't remember the context of that conversation to be able to elaborate for you.
Okay, and since it's in your mind a little bit, is it safe to say that with that being in your mind a little bit, wouldn't that be enough to charge somebody with a felony if they had stolen a vehicle?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. Mr. Nixon, I don't know how many more times I can tell you this. We're not talking about that.
Your Honor, these are all relevant things that
They're
happen.
not relevant. I ruled they're not relevant. This goes to your claim that you're being prosecuted maliciously. It has nothing to do with the state of the evidence and whether or not you acted in self-defense in the shooting of Tony Westover.
Well, just to clarify, I guess one more time. During my testimony, I stated I had
Your testimony or your statement?
my statement. During my statement, I said the gun was on Brian's hip, correct?
Yes.
During my statement, I said I was in fear for my life, correct?
Yes.
During my statement, I stated that I was using meth, correct?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. These were all asked and answered. We saw the video.
Anything else, Mr. Nixon?
Um,
That hasn't already been asked and answered.
okay. Was there ever any pictures of the cut on my chest to my leg that you know of?
I just know that our crime scene unit detective Teetsy in the video we just watched after your interview took photos of your injuries. I don't know. I didn't see him taking your pants off to take any pictures of a cut on your leg. No.
During Ashley Broughton's statement or testimony, do you remember her stating that I was bloody?
Hold on a second. We're talking about bloody on July 22nd and pictures on August 24th. Completely unrelated and irrelevant. Next question.
During or at the scene of the alleged murder, was there any blood anywhere?
Yes.
Had any of my blood or DNA been found in the home or on whatever you guys tested?
None that tested by DNA. No.
So there wasn't any DNA testing done in the home?
Blood swabs were taken of the blood, and that blood came back to Tony Westover.
So is it safe to say that the direction in which Tony, where she was, and that bullet hole facing a whole nother direction, that would indicate that the gun was shot, or a gun was shot in two different directions?
Objection calls for speculation, Your Honor.
Detective, can you answer that question?
I can say that there were bullet holes found.
No, my question was, can you answer the question based on your education, training, and experience?
No.
Sustained.
I don't have any more questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. No redirect, right?
Yes. You were
Look,
asked
the
about
judge
Brian
tired of this
Builders and talking to his parole officer. That was back in 2022 when you interviewed him. Was that correct?
Yes.
And that's recorded, correct?
Yes.
And you were asked about seeing Tony Westover's car pulling up, correct?
Yes.
And that's not on any video, correct?
None that we have on evidence. No.
Correct. So if you did not get that, you would not see it on what you have, correct?
Correct.
Just like Adam coming back, if you did not get that part, you would not see it on what you have, correct?
Correct.
I have no further questions.
You may step down. Do you have any?
All right, and so that wrapped up day 3, right, of the trial. And also it wrapped up, and you guys will see it when we come back. It also wrapped up the state's case, okay? So when we come back, you guys, we're going to come back Sunday afternoon. I'm not going to quote no time, but I'm going to let you guys know on the wall. But we're going to come back Sunday, and we're going to just barrel through. We're going to barrel through day 4. And day 4, the judge is over it, okay? Day 4 is going to be so interesting, you guys. And I have tried so hard, and I've been successful not to peep at all at Quinton's case that he's going to put forth, right? And he is definitely, all I know is I know for a fact that I saw him on the stand. He is, in fact, going to testify. So we are going to be seeing that on Sunday, and that's going to prove to be interesting. I already know. I can't wait to see him testify, hear what he got to say, his story, and I absolutely cannot wait to see the cross-examination of him. Okay, so he got some witnesses coming that he subpoenaed. I know that he got the they completed day 4. So when we come back Sunday. And once we get through day 4, day 4, we will be actually caught up with the case in real time, which that has been my goal, to get caught up with the case in real time. That way, when they go to deliberate, there's no jury, right? But when it come down to the sentencing or what happened to the verdict, I want us to have already deliberated on it. So we keep in good time Sunday. We're going to pull a long one, okay? So I want to thank y'all for tuning in to another Trial Watch with Demetra. I want y'all to think on this. If you missed anything, got any questions about anything, want to go back and see anything, it's definitely the playlist. Thank y'all for liking the video and tuning in. I'm going to sign off at this point. I am Demetralitallday, and this has been Trial Watch with Demetra, the interrogation part. I think this is part 9. Good night, everybody.